From the 1011 Now streaming studio, this is The Night Beat.
Hello and welcome to the 1011 Now streaming studio. I am Madison Pitch. It is Wednesday, February 14th, and before we get going, I feel like we should acknowledge that today has been a really heavy day. More information is rolling in about that Super Bowl parade shooting, and that is where we start our Night Beat tonight. We are learning more from our sister station KCTV that one person is dead and 22 more were critically injured in that shooting. It happened right around 2 p.m. this afternoon. Millions of people were gathered there to celebrate the Chiefs' Sunday win at the Super Bowl. This is a story we'll be following for the rest of the day, and we'll be sure to bring you the latest information tonight at 10. Back here at home, it's a contentious issue for Attorney General Mike Hilgers. Did the state's inspectors general have too much power? In an August opinion, the AG said the inspectors general who investigate the state's child welfare and corrections couldn't compel anyone to participate in their investigation because those same investigatory powers violated the separation of powers and lacked constitutional authority. The inspectors general monitor the goings-on of the state's welfare and corrections system and report to the state's legislature. Hilgers' opinion in plain means the legislative branch's IG's reach into the executive branch of the state goes too far. That opinion essentially hand-tied the IGs. The Department of Health and Human Services and the Department of Corrections blocked their access to facilities and records, but now it seems like there might be some kind of repair on the horizon. Enter something called a Memorandum of Understanding, which is essentially an agreement between two parties. Today, Governor Pillen and Speaker of the Legislature John Arch, as well as State Senator Ray Aguilar, signed the memorandum, which for the time being at least lets the IGs get back to work. The scope of their work will be modified, but the IGs say they do feel like they'll be able to get their job done. But that's not the end of this story. That memorandum holds up through the end of the next legislative session. Right now, Senator Arch has a resolution in the unicameral that will create a committee to lay the groundwork again for what an IG can do, and more broadly, what legislature oversight really means. We'll be sure to follow this one all the way through. And the 82-year-old woman who says she was abused by her husband for decades before she killed him is now free again. Lavetta Langdon's story is one we have been following for some time. In 2020, Langdon was arrested in McCook after police found her husband, Larry Langdon, shot to death in his bedroom. Langdon confessed to police, telling them the pair had gotten into a fight and her husband had hit her with a closed fist. She shot him shortly after. In 2021, Langdon was sentenced to 8 to 10 years for felony manslaughter, and since then, her children have campaigned on their mother's behalf, asking the court to consider the severity of the sentence considering her age. It's been a back and forth effort. In December of last year, Langdon's request for her parole hearing was denied. Governor Jim Pillen said they didn't have sufficient information to make a decision. In January, Pillen, the Secretary of State Bob Evnen, and Attorney General Mike Hilgers, along with the Board of Pardons, made her eligible for parole. And today, the Nebraska Department of Corrections listed her as on discretionary parole. We've got more news, weather, and sports still ahead and all night long on 1011now.com. But before we go, a look at our 7-day forecast.
You've been listening to The Night Beat. Watch, listen, and stream on the 1011 app on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts.